stations of KUAM, proud sponsor of the 12th Festival of Pacific Arts, KUAM 2016. What we own, what we have, what we share, united voice of the Pacific.
Closed captioning is brought to you by IT&D.
KUAM News Headlines is presented by Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust, serving Micronesia for over 75 years. Matson Navigation, proud sponsor of Festback 2016. Cars Plus, Dodge Challenger, the undisputed champion. IP&E, fueling excellence. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. Pacific Solar, and Chuck E. Cheese's Guam, where all games are just one token.
We've got a new twist in the Carl Gargarita case as he plans to plead guilty. Crystal Paco will explain.
And we're talking trash as northern residents are fed up with illegal dumping.
And Ken brings us an update on tax refunds. Good evening, Guam, and Hafa.
We begin with a developing story as KUM News has confirmed that a man wanted in the state of Texas was picked up today by the U.S. Marshal Service Fugitive Task Force. The Guam Attorney General's office confirms that Anthony Michael Castaneda faces sexual assault charges. Again, he was picked up this afternoon. We are told that a warrant of arrest was issued in Houston. Again, Anthony Michael Castaneda was picked up by the U.S. Marshals this afternoon. KUM is still waiting for more information, and of course, we will keep you posted.
All right, let's get to our top story now. There is an interesting twist in a 2013 murder case.
Joining us in studio is Crystal Paco with the story.
Bree and Jace, Carl Gargarita was acquitted of murder but convicted of manslaughter. As a result, he was sentenced to 15 years behind bars with 5 years suspended. That all changed, however, when Gargarita brought his case upstairs, where Supreme Court justices reversed his manslaughter conviction because jury instructions were misleading, inconsistent, and confusing, and failed to clearly inform jurors that self-defense is a justification defense the people had the burden of disproving beyond a reasonable doubt. Today, Gargarita appeared in court again, and it looks like he won't be in jail much longer should he enter a plea agreement with the government. Carl Gargarita has been behind bars for nearly 3 years. But according to defense attorney Peter Sablon, they've been working the last 2 months on a plea agreement with the government. Sablon tells media on Tuesday the sentence would range anywhere from 3 to 6 years, but could not confirm the finalized charges.
My client has agreed to a plea agreement with the government.
Back in 2013, Gargarita was arrested for the murder of Anthony Gurilao. It was a bar fight over a woman that turned deadly. Gurilao allegedly threw the first punch, and the two men wrestled on the pavement before Gargarita executed a rear naked chokehold on Gurilao, who blacked out and later died. The cause of death? Asphyxiation. Gargarita faced a jury who acquitted him of murder but convicted him of manslaughter. He appealed the case with the Supreme Court, who determined a new trial was warranted. The last time Gargarita appeared in court, defense was requesting an expert witness in anticipation of trial. According to attorney Sablon, they're withdrawing their motions. Gargarita also requested to be released on house arrest. Judge Maria Senzon denied that motion.
The court just issued an opinion regards to that, and she's denied his release.
Brian Jace, defense says Gargarita will receive credit for time served. A change of plea is scheduled for April 5th. Back to you.
Thanks, Crystal. Keeping with crime news, a new trial for accused murderer Alan Agababa likely won't get underway until late September. Agababa appeared in court alongside his new attorney, Curtis Vandeveld. Agababa faced a jury once before, but they couldn't make a unanimous decision, leaving the court to render a mistrial. According to the defense today, they've yet to receive transcripts from the first trial and will need ample time to review the documents. As we reported, Agababa is accused of killing his mother, who worked as a flight attendant in order to collect over $850,000 in death benefits. KUAM files show no weapon was ever recovered in the alleged murder. Agababa's next hearing is set for April 5th. A pair of Navy sailors making their way into an adult entertainment club in Tumon was punched and pistol whipped before they could make it in the door. The investigation led police to a home in Chalanpago, where they not only found who they were looking for, but a cache of drugs and guns.
On Friday, January 22nd, it was supposed to be a night out with the guys, but before three Navy sailors could even get in the door to Club Foxy's in Tumon, they were approached by 33-year-old Mitch Bronson Martinez. Martinez is accused of punching two of the sailors in the face and then allegedly grabbing a gun, pointing it at the head of one of the victims, and pulling the trigger twice. After it didn't fire, Martinez is then accused of pistol whipping the victim. A couple of weeks after the incident, police received help from the Department of Corrections Parole Division. An officer was able to identify one of the suspects in the video footage. After further investigation and obtaining a search warrant, a multi-law enforcement group consisting of GPD, the Criminal Justice Strike Force, and NCIS moved in on the suspects. On Monday, a search warrant was executed at a home in Chalampago. Not only did they find who they were looking for, but a cache of unregistered firearms and drugs, including marijuana and amphetamines. Additionally, police found evidence that the residents tampered with their meter to illegally receive free electricity. According to police spokesperson AJ Balahaja, among the items confiscated included ammunitions, a 9mm handgun, a .357 Magnum revolver, narcotics, and drug paraphernalia. 50-year-old Kenneth Michael Regis was arrested for criminal facilitation. He was booked and released. Also arrested was 25-year-old Margaret Rose Davenport for illegal possession of a Schedule II controlled substance. Illegal possession of a Schedule II controlled substance with the intent to distribute. As for her boyfriend Martinez, he was busted on a slew of charges, including attempted murder, aggravated assault, as well as on weapons and drug charges. He was booked and confined. According to court documents, this isn't the first time he's been in trouble with the law. Martinez has prior felony convictions as well as an active criminal case pending.
Well, at this time last year, more than $3 million had already been paid in tax refunds. Yet, as Ken Quintanilla reports, with thousands of returns already filed, all that sits in the bank to pay them is a little more than $200.
People are coming in and filing, and we're here.
And while tax season started weeks ago, Revenue Tax Director John Camacho says about a quarter of the expected 60,000 total returns have already been filed.
We basically do refunds based on first in, first out. So far, I guess as of last week, we have roughly a total of about 14,700 returns that have been filed as of last week.
Of that amount, 4,000 returns have already been processed for those who filed up to January 29th.
It's kind of high numbers. This is where a lot of people file early are the high refunds amounts that have been claimed.
Those processed returns total about $15 million, all of which have yet to be paid.
No, we haven't paid out any 2015 returns.
Camacho says an additional 1,000 returns were processed for amended returns or from those who filed late from previous years, totaling about $2 million. So when exactly will tax refunds be paid out? Camacho can only say, quote, he's working with the fiscal policy team.
We work every year, but one thing for sure is that we pay refunds within the 6-month period. Sometimes, when we pay, like for example, people that filed in January, we might start paying the refunds, as early as next month. When we get together and we have, start paying those refunds.
This time last year, 2 batches of refunds were paid out totaling $3.1 million for people who filed up to January 16, 2015. According to the Department of Administration's monthly income tax refund efficient payment trust fund bank statements for January submitted to the Guam legislature, a balance of $235.35 sits in the account. In the meantime, with all W-2 forms required by law to be issued by employers already, Camacho says he expects February's numbers to be even higher.
I remember last year, the earlier days of February last year, they were averaging, 3 to 4 million a day, because that's when all the big taxpayers, refund taxpayers, file their return.
Camacho says www.guamtax.com will regularly update when error-free tax refunds have been paid out. The website shows refunds were last paid out for those who filed on or before October 7, 2015. He says DRT is developing a hotline for people to call in and identify the status of their income tax claims. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Ken Quintanilla.
In other news, the governor has appointed Christine Belletto as the director of the Department of Administration. She's been GM of Market Wholesale since 2005 and is also franchise owner for Pacific Fruits. She previously served as vice chairperson for the board of directors from 2012 to 2014 and was heavily involved with the port's finances and budget process. She was renominated in January by Governor Calvo to serve on the port board. However, that was since withdrawn. She's a graduate of Ocean View High School, Chaminade University, and UOG. Her appointment will have to be confirmed by the legislature. Belletto would fill the director position previously held by former Senator Tony Blas, who of course passed away last month.
Guam received prominent mention at the start of the annual White House meeting of insular areas. Interior Secretary Sally Jewell recalled her trip here last July when many of the key issues for the conference were also raised. Nesha Lecanto reports.
Jewell opened the yearly gathering of insular area leaders with a moment of silence in honor of the late CNMI Governor Eloy Enos. She then talked about her trip to Guam, the first ever by a sitting Interior Secretary.
We talked a lot about economic development and tourism. I visited a hospital in Guam, which is struggling with the demand on the services there, and I think has had some grant funding here relatively recently, but big issues. Healthcare, compact impact, which is a big issue, particularly in Guam and Hawaii.
She said Interior is not interested in just flying in and out. They want to know what's going on and how they can help. One way is funding.
We do have a budget that's now out. I'm going to be defending it in the first of 4 hearings starting tomorrow. We have $33 million in the budget for compact impact grants for Guam and CNMI and Hawaii. It is a small fraction of what you actually spend.
Jewell said another $11 million will be available for alternate energy, resource protection, and climate change initiatives. But perhaps the deepest discussion will come tomorrow when the focus turns to political status.
We'll be working closely with you on advancing self-determination. I think it is very clear just from my 3 years in this job that you don't have a voice as much as you could. And it's part of our job to do that and part of your jobs. And so finding ways to improve on that, I think, is really important.
For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
It is time to break away, but coming up next, we'll tell you where the Liberation Carnival will be moving to.
And for our friends in Pago Bay, we've got an update on a meeting that you might want to attend if you're so inclined. Stay tuned, that's coming.
The world at home from everywhere you are. Get the KUAM News app for the latest in local news, videos, sports, streaming, Isla 63 AM, weather, and more. Available for free now at the iTunes App Store or Google Play.
Congratulations, you just won! Oh, all right. You too can win in Calvo's Insurance Ride Your Dreams giveaway. If you are a Calvo's Insurance home or personal auto customer, you qualify to enter by texting LOYAL to 2015. And if you need an insurance quote, text quote to 2015 for a chance to win in our grocery giveaway. Thank you, KUAM, for placing your trust in Calvo's. Insure with Calvo's today and ride your dreams to reality.
Will always be here. But this one won't last long.
McDonald's Filet-O-Fish is perfect for Lent. Get it with fries and a drink for only $5.99 for a limited time.
Walking on a dream, hopping like flight. Running for the thrill of it, always pushing up the hill, searching for the thrill of it. All alone, we are calling out now to together.
Direct from our imagination. The all-new Civic from Honda.
Follow KUAM News on Twitter or become a fan on Facebook to get all your daily headlines from Guam's News Network.
Hafide, and welcome back to Primetime. If you are just joining us, KUAM News has confirmed that a man wanted in the state of Texas was picked up today by the U.S. Marshal Service Fugitive Task Force. The Guam Attorney General's office confirms that Anthony Michael Castaneda, you'll see him on your screen, was picked up today. He is wanted in Houston, Texas on sexual assault charges. KUAM will keep you posted on this developing story.
All right, now in other Guam news, trailers of trash that were once piling up along Kaskahu Road up in Jigo are now filling trucks of those trying to clean it up. Issa Baz has gotten more on the issue of illegal dumping and how it's now overwhelming the island's mayors.
It stains our island landscapes and has negative effects on our environment. But illegal dumping continues to occur, and the site along Kaskahu Road in Jigo is just one of many affecting the island.
It goes from white goods to tires and household trash. Actually, we have already a total of 1 trailer and 5 truckloads. And this is just half of it. And this is just one place.
Jigo Mayor Rudy Matanani spent all of Tuesday morning cleaning the dump site.
It has gotten worse, that's for sure. It kind of escalated when they closed the transfer station down in Dedido. But you know, that's something that we have foreseen that it's going to happen, and we can't stop it because of the water lenses. That's one of the reasons why the Dedido transfer station is closed.
He said while island mayors do their best to help, they can only do so much.
You know, sometimes I would like to say drop it here, but let me tell you, in probably a week, the trash will be bigger than that office over there, my office, and I can't be responsible with things like that unless I have the finances, and right now we don't.
Guam Environmental Protection Agency Administrator Eric Palacios said GIPA continues to work with island mayors and recently formed a partnership to address dumping at the Tiden Carnival grounds.
Fortunately, we were able to find information that we can trace back to someone, and that will lead us to the bigger picture, which is finding out who is dumping there.
If individuals are found responsible for illegal dumping, they could be forced to pay thousands of dollars in cleanup costs. He said GIPA will continue to issue notices of violations in order to hold violators accountable. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Issa Baza.
The annual Liberation Carnival will be moving back to Paseo. Mayor's Council of Guam President and Allegheny Heights Mayor Paul McDonald says he recently met with Governor Eddie Calvo about relocating to Hagåtña after being in Tiden for the past 4 years. McDonald says Tiden is not a suitable place anymore.
It's just too costly to pay for the utilities again, which is, the sewer line, the wastewater, the power. And people have actually turned away because of, the situation up there. We went from about 120 vendors to 60 vendors, and it was just not viable anymore.
The Mayor's Council had recently proposed relocating to Oka Point in Tamuning. They, however, recently rescinded the request due to concerns from nearby residents, along with the presence of little fire ants and the high cost to power up the site. McDonald adds, with the Festival of Pacific Arts set for May 22nd to June 4th, the Liberation Carnival may open late, possibly by early July.
The Guam Land Use Commission this week will address the zone variance request for the proposed high-rise project over in Pago Bay. The project by Guam Wanfang Construction involves a 2-tower, 14 and 15-story high structure consisting of more than 300 condo units. The company is seeking a zone variance for height and density with the GLUC, as a public hearing was held in Jonia back in January, wherein dozens of nearby residents addressed concerns as well as opposition to the proposal. More than 24 comments were submitted from the hearing, with the GLUC set for Thursday to meet at 1:30 in the afternoon.
A nationwide shortage of the asthma medication of choice, albuterol, is now affecting Guam. According to American Medical Center physician Dr. Vincent Okamoto, asthma patients are urged to refill albuterol inhaler prescriptions immediately to ensure their supply is sufficient. Several pharmacies have already run out of the drug, and Dr. Okamoto says the shortage could last until April. In the meantime, physicians are looking at alternative methods of treating the respiratory condition, which he says has been flaring in Guam in recent months.
In more inspiring news, a blessing and turnover ceremony was held in Dedido at Santa Barbara Catholic School, celebrating the new Israel Science Hall, which includes a modern science and computer lab. Sister Jeanette Marie Pangilinan thanked investor Al Israel, as well as his wife Diana, for their generous contribution to the campus. She hopes the new facility fosters student development, especially in the very lucrative fields of science and technology.
Well, it was a party inside, but a protest outside. If you were in Tucumán on Sunday, you may have seen dozens of members of the Lady Forward movement in front of Outrigger, where they say the Archdiocese Sweethearts Ball was being held. A Lady Forward movement member, Jaden Common, says they wanted to send a strong message to partygoers, most especially to the Archbishop. The group believes the Archbishop is to blame for the ongoing split in the Catholic community.
We want him to return the property of the Redemptus Mater Seminary in Jonia to the Catholic Church of Guam. We want him to restore the two priests, Father Paul and Monsignor James, back to their positions and to give them back their good name, because he really bashed their name and he really made them look bad. And we want him to publicly apologize for that and to make those priests come back into their positions.
According to the church bulletin, the weekend event was a Valentine's Day fundraiser to help pay down the expenses for ongoing church renovations. Tickets were $125 per person.
Well, they've called Guam home since World War II, but their presence has devastated the native bird population.
In this next report, Crystal Paco continues a special series on invasive species in conjunction with Invasive Species Awareness Week. Here's more on the brown tree snake.
You can thank the brown tree snake for killing off Guam's native birds.
Within 30 years, the brown tree snake spread throughout Guam, and our native forest birds were depleted.
According to Department of Agriculture's Wildlife Supervisor Diane Weiss, it's our job to keep it our problem.
We don't want this to happen to another island. We don't want it to happen to Hawaii or anywhere else in Micronesia. So we can do that. We can control the snake and minimize the risk to other places, but we want to go broader than that. We want to, consider the source. Eradicated on Guam. We're developing technology. I say we, the brown tree snake community.
We've seen the efforts, the most shocking of which was a mice drop atop forested areas of Andersen Air Force Base. While many of us use acetaminophen to treat headaches, muscle aches, and the common cold, the over-the-counter medicine is deadly to the snake. KUAM files show the mice baits were each filled with 80 milligrams of the medicine and attached to cardboard and tissue paper, much like a parachute.
Tricky part is people don't want little dead mice being sprinkled over all their property. So we're going to need the public support. We're going to need the public support to maybe augment areas with trapping. Maybe the public will be trapping themselves. We need a public that's on board, that wants to control the snake and help bring back our native birds and stop the spread of this pest species.
To get the public on board, the agency is launching an awareness campaign called Contra Icolepla, or Attack the Snake.
People, don't appreciate what life was like before the snake. We could have native birds everywhere. We wouldn't have power outages caused by the snake. We wouldn't be having snake bites. If a baby gets bit by a snake, they might end up in hospital.
If you want more information or want to get involved in eradication efforts, call Vice at 735-3990.
A lot of people have given up on Guam with the brown tree snake, and that's unfortunate because this is something a lot of people have been working really hard to control, and it's just a success story waiting to happen on Guam. And so I hope the public on Guam wants to support this great effort.
Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Crystal Paco.
Stay tuned. Coming up next in sports, Chris Barnett talks with former PXC heavyweight champ Rocky Martinez. Keep it here.
Introducing the new unlimited LTE data plan from GTA. Get unlimited data with no throttling on GTA's LTE network. Unlimited calls and texts, including calls to the U.S. for only $90 per month. Just another example of GTA's commitment to providing you the best. Visit gta.net/unlimited LTE for details.
It's an event so big, it's presidential. It's Cars Plus President's Day sale going on now in Mighty. Drive home a new 2016 Hyundai Accent today, starting at $12,995 or $79 per paycheck. Or the totally new 2016 Hyundai Sonata, starting at $21,888 or $133 per paycheck. Buy now and you won't make a payment for 90 days. Plus, all new Hyundais come with Guam's best warranty, 10 years, 100,000 miles. It's our President's Day sale going on all month at Cars Plus in Mighty. Cars Plus, driven by you.
Ruby Tuesday now gives you more for lunch. Endless trips to the Fresh Garden Bar, plus add-ons, mini combinations, and even new meal options. It's the new lunchtime menu, available Monday to Friday until 2 p.m., only at Ruby Tuesday.
Get ready. It's time to party, to rally, to run in paradise. 5K, 10K, half marathon, and full marathon. All the fun in one great run, in one great half-a-day experience. Register today for the Guam International Marathon on April 10th.
What's that?
What? That? A hat? Do you like my hat?
No, that. They're towing our car.
Car? We have gone so far.
What's going on?
We can't afford to have it fixed because it's out of warranty.
Stop making excuses. Trade in your car at Guam Auto Spot for a brand new Mitsubishi Lancer with a 5-year, 60,000-mile warranty. Make us an offer. Fill in the blank. What's your payment?
Day Guam, sitting in for the one and only and vacationing Dave Delgado. My name is Chris Barnett. A big, huge show for you tonight. I mean, it's like this big. Swear to God. Coming up, women's baseball. We'll look at DPR co-ed volleyball action. But first, to PXC 52 we go, where a familiar face returns to PXC to face Japanese fighter Oban Takayaki. Former PXC heavyweight champion Rocky Martinez is throwing the gloves back on and getting ready for his return to the PXC March 18th at the UOG Calvo Fieldhouse.
After I won my last PXC fight, I had a pretty serious injury, but I came back, recovered, and, I fought early in 2015, and then the later half of 2015, I beat two Korean opponents, and, they were, the first guy was definitely a big step up, and it kind of just put me back into that position to make a run again.
And of course, you got to give him the edge in the iron.
He's seen the highest highs. As a former heavyweight champion of the PXC, Martinez held the belt the longest before losing it to Saipan's Kelvin Fitial. And now Martinez is ready to reintroduce himself to fans as a new and improved heavyweight contender.
Man, I'm a completely different fighter than the last time. I mean, I don't want to talk about it, but you guys will see it. And, it's just, it's years of hard work. And, I've just been working harder than ever and ready to showcase my talent. Basically, whatever way I see a chance to finish the fight, I'm going to go for the finish. Definitely try and end it. And the crowd sees your hard punches coming in there and, they get excited about it. It makes me more excited to throw harder. So.
And throw harder he will. Martinez undoubtedly has some of the heaviest hands in the PXC, and he can definitely take a punch. And he says he's worked hard to fight his fight on March 18th.
I think I've kind of set my style now to where I really want to stick to that style, and which is just basically push forward and pressure the guy and try and break him, just break their will to win.
So don't miss PXC 52, March 18th at the UOG Calvo Fieldhouse. Tickets on sale soon for this epic fight card even Martinez wants to see.
The one fight I'm really excited for is the Crisanto and Kai Kara France. I watched both of them fight, and I like their stand-up, and I think that's going to be my favorite fight to watch.
We'll see you there. Fight Night Friday, March 18th for PXC 52. More great news this week for women in Guam sports as Lady Guahan, Guam's national women's baseball team, completed play in the 9th annual Asia Insurance Phoenix Cup held in Hong Kong. Now the ladies from Guam defeated Taiwan in their final game 9-3 behind a 2-for-3 performance by Serena Cepeda. She also scored 3 runs and had an RBI. Now Cepeda received the tournament MVP award. Wow. Nominated by opposing team managers and coaches. If you want to give them a big welcome back to Guam, Lady Guahan will arrive back on island early tomorrow morning. That's right, Thursday morning, and they'll begin preparing for the Guam Women's Baseball Cup in July by playing in a newly formed Women's Baseball League that starts in April, and we'll have more on that coming up here on KUAM Sports in the near future. And now, Department of Parks and Rec, Gov Guam Co-Ed Volleyball League action from the Guam Sports Complex Gym. Ooh, that's a mouthful. Try saying that fast 5 times. They're volleying now, kids. That's why it's called volleyball. Put your hands up, make a wall. Good job. Now check this out. The serve. They're doing things to the ball with their hands. And the set. Soft touch. See, you don't always have to go hard. Sometimes soft is better, right? Let's get some scores now. Sindalu defeats the DPR Defenders 2 sets, 25-20, 25-16. Sindalu 3-1 now. Kotti defeats Kotti 2, 25-23, 25-15. Kotti now 3-1. DOE United, hey, at least somebody's united. They're 4-0, defeating Untalan 3 sets, 25-21, 21-25, and 15-11. Remember your DPR Gov Guam Co-Ed Volleyball League games Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6:30, 7:30, 8:30, and Saturdays too if you want some volleyball action on the weekend, 2, 3, and 4 p.m. All right, hey, be sure to join me tomorrow on the show where we're going to have news about your Guam women's national team rugby as well as youth soccer, anything sports. Hit me on the email, the EM, all right, malfunction@KUAM.com. Once again, for the vacationing Dave Delgado, my name is Chris Barnett. Adios.
This is iPhone 6S. Not much has changed, except it responds to the pressure of your finger, which changes how you read a text, read an email, read the news. Wait, you read the news? Yep. Of course you do. The camera shoots 4K video now, and selfies have changed. Now your screen is the flash. That's going to get like 1 million likes. Thanks. Actually, photos themselves have changed. They move now. So yeah, that's what's changed.
These used cars are Nissan certified, and let me show you why I stand behind every used car that we sell. First, our certified technicians inspect every used car to make sure it's safe, reliable, and mechanically sound. Then any scratches and dings are given first-class treatment at our body shop. And after thorough detailing inside and out, the car is ready for sale. At a price that's always below Blue Book. That makes Nissan used cars your best buy.
While hundreds of homeless seek shelter every day, when memories fade like old photographs, and families struggle to care for loved ones with special needs, as young children are caught in the storm of abuse and neglect, we are there. For over 30 years, we have helped Guam's victims of life when there was nowhere else to turn. You can help too by giving $1 a month. God bless you.
Welcome back. Before we wrap up the news, here's your latest round of birthday shout-outs from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club. Happy 18th birthday to Kalia Ray Saliva. We love you from the Miners family.
Happy birthday to Colin Duenas. This comes from your family. Nice picture.
And happy 7th birthday to Caleb Connor Borja from the family.
And last but certainly not least, happy birthday wishes going out to Shaoyan Ocampo Roman, who has a birthday today.
You can be a part of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club. Just head on over to KUAM.com.
All right, stay tuned. More coming up after this.
Closed captioning is brought to you by IT&D.
Hoffman, welcome to the Healthy Living edition of KUAM News Extra. I'm Isa Baza. So glad you could join us. Coming up in tonight's show, we learn about Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month. And up next, we meet with Ryan Claris from Custom Fitness in Agana to speak about GIM training tips. But first, here's this week's Health Check report with Joan Uggin-Charfris.
Health Check is presented by Island Cancer Center.
The Department of Public Health and Social Services, in collaboration with the Guam Dental Society, is sponsoring the 2016 Dental Health Fair on Sunday, February 28th at the Micronesia Mall Center Court from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Suzanne Kaneshiro is spearheading the event.
What we're going to be doing is we're going to be offering free dental exams, orthodontic screenings. We're also doing height and weight measurements for children. We're going to be offering a photo booth for the children, face painting. We also have somebody doing balloons, but it's actually geared for children.
The dental fair would not have been possible without the support of some great people within the community.
We have 6 dental offices actually participating and 12 other participants from both private and public organizations participating. And so we have representatives from public health. We have the WIC program. We have Project Visita, Project Carino. We have Guam Launch this year. We also have the MCH program. We have BOSA, the agency that does the CPS. We also have Catholic Social Services. We have DOE represented.
According to Kaneshiro, Micronesian brokers will also be launching Colgate's Bright Smiles, Bright Futures campaign. The fair is in celebration of National Children's Dental Health Month. This year's slogan is Sugar Wars. A poster contest for students, kindergarten to 5th grade, was also conducted in conjunction with Dental Health Month. First place winners walk away with an iPad, second place takes home $100, and third place pockets $50.
We're also going to be announcing the winners for our poster contest. And so this year, this is the first time we've ever had a poster contest in conjunction with a dental health fair. So we're very, very proud of that, right? Because, I actually had 25 schools participate with over 1,100 entries. And so it was very successful, I thought. We just want to show appreciation to the community because a lot of the schools encourage their children to enter our poster contest. And it was a way of promoting oral health in the schools, right? So we really, really appreciate the response from the community.
Dental decay is the most common chronic illness among school-age children and is almost entirely preventable. According to the American Dental Association, over 100 million Americans fail to go see a dentist each year, even though most dental disease can be prevented through regular dental exams and good oral hygiene. This is an opportunity for parents and children to meet with dental professionals to learn more about the importance of good oral hygiene and how to prevent tooth decay. The Dental Health Fair is once again scheduled for Sunday, February 28th at the Micronesia Mall Center Court from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We hope to see you there. With this week's Health Check report, I'm Joan Uggin-Charfris.
Health Check is presented by Island Cancer Center.
Thanks, Joan. Stay tuned. Coming up next, we meet with the Cancer Coalition to talk about Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month. We're back after this.
This program is brought to you by GTA, your island, your network.
Sunday barbecues are better when there's more than enough bandwidth to share. Sign up for GTA Fiber to the neighborhood today and enjoy faster internet on more devices. GTA, your island, your faster fiber network.
At Island Cancer Center, we treat our patients and their families like our family. We have all been touched by cancer, and it is important to feel comfortable and secure under the care of our health professionals. You can count on us for skilled cancer specialists, the most advanced cancer-fighting technology on the island, and a commitment to caring for you or your loved one with compassion, respect, and empathy. Our family, treating your family.
Island Cancer Center, located on Guam Medical Plaza. Visit us at islandcancercenter.com or call 646-3363.
stones won't break bones. We're in the car on a highway. It's a magical feeling that no one's got home. You're a catalyst to your happiness, you know. This is your heart, it's alive, it's pumping blood. In a whole wide world, it's
Hi, and welcome back to Healthy Living. Tonight we're talking about Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month, which is coming up this March. I'm here with Rose Greeno and Charlie Leron. So for people who don't know, what is colorectal cancer?
Well, colorectal cancer is the cancer in the colon and in the rectum. So, you know, in your intestine, we have a small and a large intestine. The colon is in the large intestine. The rectal is the last portion, the small portions on your intestine that connect it to your anus, you know, when you, the poo comes out, for the layman terms, yeah.
So I understand the Cancer Coalition is really focusing on this type of cancer this year. Can you tell me, is it something that's common here in Guam?
Yes.
Yes, unfortunately, Guam's screening rates and Guam's cancer rates are really high considering we're such a small island. And for colon cancer, it is actually the #3 death for men on island and #4 for women.
And then to add, this is also the third leading cause of cancer deaths in the U.S. So it's out there. Yeah.
So for people who aren't familiar with this, what are the risk factors? Do you know what causes this type of cancer?
Oh, as any type of cancers, the cause of this is really poor diet, and then lack of exercise, decreased activities, smoking is also, and there's some other factors that you got it to hereditary. If you have a family hereditary that have cancer, those are the things also to consider.
Okay, so say it is hereditary, or you feel like maybe you have some of the risk factors. How would you get screened for this type of cancer?
Oh yeah, there's the different kind of screening. So best thing is to go there and check with your primary care providers. That's why we're all having this campaign. So you can do for colonoscopy, they check your colon. And then we also have flex sigmoidoscopy, but those it's just a small, the lower portion of your colon that they check, and you do an in-office procedure. That's not much has been done right now. And then the other thing is the fecal occult blood. So, there's a kit, the doctors will give it to you, you bring it home, you put a sample of your poo over there, and they will look for some type of bleeding. So, because the bleeding is caused by the polyps. Usually cancer starts with the polyps in your colon. So that's what we're looking into.
Okay, so like many cancers, how would this be treated? Would it be with chemotherapy?
Well, it depends on the stages of your cancer. If your cancer is in the local stage, meaning it's not spread yet, it can be done treatment by surgery and then followed by chemotherapy. And those treatment is really all available in Guam. Yeah.
That's good, especially if it's such a, leading cause of death here on island. So I understand you guys are hosting an educational conference next month. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So on March 6th, we're going to have a colorectal cancer education conference. So Charlie and I is one of the speakers, and Dr. Yvette Polino, and really talk about system strengthening. So Dr. Polino is going to talk about cancer numbers in Guam, which we do have now. I talk about the guidelines and toolkit and to do screenings and the office practice. So Charlie is going to talk about.
I'm actually going to talk about community collaborations and the reasoning why it actually takes a lot of organization of companies, team leaders, NPOs, businesses, and these providers to come together to put something like this together. And the importance of this is actually the first for Guam to have a colorectal education conference. Yes. We're also going to have a proclamation signing, which will be the first for Guam as well. And the reasoning for this is because we really need to make some form of impact and educate the community about colorectal cancer. It's almost in the same light as everybody knows about the Get Your Pink On, or that pink is representing a breast cancer, and everybody knows that October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. In the same light, this is something that we need to bring to the public, that there are also other cancers that are very prevalent on island, and we need to take a stand now. In colorectal cancer, one of the biggest important thing to take from this is that it's preventable. Yes. And these are things, and it's preventable through screening. When Rose had mentioned family history, for you to understand your family history and for you to inform your physician about it, it's you taking a proactive approach in your health. And when that happens, you actually may be screened earlier. Mm-hmm. These are tools and education that we want to let people know, so that they can take a stand against cancer. They can join us in this kind of forum or a town hall, or wherever there's information about cancer, come to it, learn from it, and then take it home, and then involve your family in it, and then just be very proactive about it.
And the survival is way much significant increase if you detected it at early stage. Mm-hmm. Very, very. And even study shows 90% of survival for 5 years if detected at an earlier stage. At earlier stage. Yeah. But we still have 2 speakers.
Yes. Yeah. And then following that is Dr. Saad from the Hafa Day Specialist Group. He's actually going to be talking about colorectal cancer screening. So it's wonderful that we actually have a surgeon involved in this as well. And then the last but not least, we're bringing in Dr. Don Dizon, and he's from the Massachusetts General Hospital Cancer Center, but he's actually a son of Guam. And he's going to be talking about cancer communication and patient engagement and advocacy. So if you notice, we have information. Here's the data on Guam. Here's system strengthening. Here's a collaborative effort. This is what a surgeon does. And this is what we need to do to talk to the patients as a medical profession. So it really ties in together to strengthen our fight.
Yeah, and let me add, as you mentioned about collaboration, and this one is, I really want to just mention, we could have done this big event conference without the help of the Take Care Insurance. And they're the one actually that provide us as the funds to put together this big conference.
Okay, so final thought for people who want to sign up or attend, how can they find out more information?
So this conference is geared toward healthcare professionals. So the nurses, doctors, medical assistants, LPNs, and other healthcare team to sign up and call up Vivian Pareja at Public Health at 735-0670. And of course, thank you, KUAM, for having us this evening.
All right, well, thank you so much, ladies. Stay tuned. Up next, we'll take you to Custom Fitness in Nagana for more GIM training tips. We're back after this.
A beautiful, healthy smile is an expression of confidence. The more confident you are about your smile, the more likely you are to fully express your feelings without having to worry about the way your teeth look.
Before cosmetic dentistry, I didn't smile as much. I didn't have the confidence, and it shows. And since I've had cosmetic dentistry done, I feel 10 times more confident. I make my initial introduction with a nice big smile and a handshake, and I just feel like it really is a relationship builder, a nice warm smile, and it makes the clients and customers feel more comfortable with you, feeling confident, and they feel that you're not just there for business, that you're also there kind of as a friend as well. So I mean, it's amazing how powerful a smile can be. A good smile.
Since your smile makes a significant impression on those around you, it is important that it makes the impression you want it to make.
When you come to Chuck E. Cheese's, you can see what's new.
New fun! New game! New cousin! What's new? New awesomeness! Where a kid can't be a kid!
Hop in, welcome back to Healthy Living. I'm here at Custom Fitness in Naganya with co-owner Ryan Claris. He's going to tell us about GIM training. He's actually training me for this upcoming half marathon on April 10th. So Ryan, can you tell me a little bit about my game plan?
Sure. Havade Isa. So basically what we've tried to do is we have about 8 weeks to go. And I think that for you, the biggest thing was to try to just kind of develop some strength. And what we've done is we then kind of broke it down to movement patterns that we can then kind of rely heavily on, such as the squat and the hinge movements, and a little bit of the loaded carries. So Issa's been coming in at 5:30 in the morning, if you could believe it. Almost for the past 2 weeks, and we've started on just basic foundational movements, and then from there we've kind of started off with a little bit of a squat program, and then we've kind of moved on to a little bit more interval training. The goal of the program is by week 6 we want to start moving on to a little bit more running, so we've taken off the volume in terms of the running aspect and more focus on the strength. Issa's goal is to break 2 hours during the half marathon. And I think that in conversations with her, we did an analysis and just tried to describe, okay, what is your biggest weakness? And I think it's not necessarily the endurance portion, but it's more of towards the end, it's the mental capacity to finish off, and then obviously just to finish off stronger. So that's kind of our game plan moving in. About 2 weeks prior to that, we'll kind of ramp up the running and then kind of be able to peak by the time the GIM hits.
All right, so I have to say I've actually run a few half marathons. So this is going to be my 4th, and it's my 2nd GIM. And my training plan has really changed since my very first half marathon, and it's made a really big difference. I've seen a lot of differences. So my very first half marathon, all I did was run. I always skipped cross training. I didn't do any weightlifting, and it was a really tough half marathon. Coming up to the last one I did, I incorporated a lot of yoga. So that was the first time I really did any strength training at all aside from running. And that was a really big difference. And so I came really close to sub 2. I was really proud of my time. I was at 2:04. But, just breaking those last few minutes is so hard. Like just, getting the speed, because the distance you can get there mentally, you can get there just running. But I think the difference I've been seeing with this is trying to get the speed there. So like with the interval trainings, instead of a short run where I would do a 4-mile run on a weekday, instead I'll do 1 mile as fast as I can, and then I'll have a 3-minute break in between. Okay, so is that supposed to, do you think that's going to really improve my speed?
Well, when you talk about running, there's only 2 things that can change is, the running pace and then obviously the stride length. So stride length is, inherently just within how you run, and then obviously just the amount of strides that you can take within the amount of time. And so again, what we're trying to do is you have great foundation in terms of you can last for a very, very long time, but the speed endurance is just not quite there. So what we've tried to do is incorporate a little bit more high intensity, fast tempo pace. So what Issa's talking about is we have her running about 90% at roughly around a mile, and then we have her rest about 2 to 3 minutes, and then have her do it again. And the idea is then to kind of have that high tempo pace for 4 straight miles, for 4 continuous miles towards the end of our training. So by the end of our training cycle. So it's going to pay off eventually.
So intervals, even though I'm taking these minutes breaks in between it, does that really have a negative effect at all, or?
Remember, so at the end of the day, it's what we're talking about is volume over time. And so a lot of times people spend, I ran 6 miles this time and I ran 8 miles that, but they're running at a pace that's probably maybe 60, maybe 70%. At the end of the day, you're running at 90% 4 miles, and then it will make you roughly get to about 90% at roughly about a 12, in terms of a distance. So we'll get you to be about running 9% at 10 miles. So overall, the longevity of it is that you're going to be able to go faster with the same amount of distance. So that's kind of the goal.
Okay, so this is where the big shift has been since my first half marathon. At first, it was all running. Now, I train roughly 5 days a week, but 3 of those days are here in the gym, and only 2 days are out running, so it's a big difference.
And so even with the days in the gym, and take it with this with a grain of salt. Not all people can, not all people can keep up with Issa's pace in terms of her endurance, because she has a really, really good foundational base, and that's why we kind of structured her training. Now, the idea is that when she runs outside of here, but also we integrate running intervals into her metabolic conditioning. So an example today, she did every minute for 3 minutes. She did 200 meters sprints, followed by 10 burpees, and she kept that pace for about eight rounds, about 24 minutes. So she got in roughly about a mile with about 80 burpees. So not bad for a start.
That was hard. But so, the GIM is really about races for all runners. So there's a marathon, there's a half marathon, 5K, 10K. So for people who are training maybe for the 5K or they want to run their first 10K, what advice do you have for some strength and conditioning exercises that they can do on their own?
With that being said, I think the most important part is not only the strength and conditioning part, but also the warm-up portion to it. So a lot of people, once they think that running is the biggest key, and I think that it's prior to running to prepare to run. So like an example of doing a dynamic warm-up, something that we do around here, and also just being able to progress. A lot of times people have this short amount of time that they're going to try to get all this running in. And if they don't know, they should probably go seek some advice from someone who knows what they're doing.
Okay, so the warm-ups we usually do here, I notice I usually do around 5 minutes on either the row machine or cycling. What about warming down after a workout? Is that important also?
100%. I think that's another part that's neglected. So especially for the cool down aspect. So the warm up aspect, you want to increase your heart rate, respiratory rate, sweat rate, those kind of things, your body's going. And as we begin to cool down, we want to be able to, again, set your body up for the next running cycle or next training cycle. So the ability for you to sit down and create some more extensibility within the soft tissues, as well as making sure that your joints feel right afterwards. A lot of times, you're kind of hyped from all this running, the endorphins are going through your body, and then it's not, 2 hours later, you're like really, really sore. So a thing that you can also do to help yourself is kind of do some static stretching afterwards, get some water in while you cool down. So it not only cools your body down, but also your nervous system as well.
Another thing that I noticed with the training plan that you made for me is that it includes rest days. And sometimes I have a problem with this. I get kind of excited and I want to do something on a rest day, maybe some cardio at the gym, but you told me just cool down and stay. Why is a rest day so important for a runner?
Well, the rest days, so there is such thing as an active recovery day, but our sessions are so high intense that you don't need anything out of it. So rest days are very important, just because we have a tendency to people judge their training based upon how they feel. And there's nothing wrong with that. But a lot of times people will then kind of have a sense of overtraining. And that's where where a mandatory rest day will help. An example, our rest days are Tuesdays and Sundays, mandatory those days. So it also allows you to Sundays allow you to prepare for the week in terms of mentally prepare and physically prepare.
All right, well, thank you so much, Ryan. I'll see you tomorrow morning at 5:30 a.m. And we'll catch up with Ryan and our training later on before GIM. Don't forget, we also have a social media promo. If you post your pictures on Instagram with your training, you can hashtag GIM training, and we announce the winner every week. So here's this week's GIM social promo winner.
Your community calendar is brought to you by Taco Bell. Whether it's your first meal or your fourth meal, we've got you covered. Taco Bell, live Más.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
Dancing, it's a form of art, vibrant, moving, evolving. With every move, every step, every rhythm, behind every dance is a story of who I am, who we were, and who we are as a community. As Pacific Islanders at the 2016 Festival of the Pacific Arts,
I will share my story.
It's an event so big, it's presidential. It's Cars Plus President's Day sale going on now in Mighty. Drive home a new 2016 Hyundai Accent today, starting at $12,995 or $79 per paycheck. Or the totally new 2016 Hyundai Sonata, starting at $21,888 or $133 per paycheck. Buy now and you won't make a payment for 90 days. Plus, all new Hyundais come with Guam's best warranty, 10 years, 100,000 miles. It's our President's Day sale going on all month at Cars Plus in Mighty. Cars Plus, driven by you.
Well, that's it for tonight's show. Don't forget, if there's a topic you'd like to see us cover, email me at healthyliving@KUAM.com. We'll see you next week, and stay healthy, Guam.
Closed captioning is brought to you by